I think the outturn figures for local government spending, if I'm correct in saying this, will show that spending on education has gone up. But Kezia Dugdale talks about the reforms of this government coming without additional funding, and she is just downright wrong about that. And even worse, she knows she is downright wrong about that, because the Attainment Fund is putting £750 million extra across this Parliament into schools, and in this very financial year we see £120 million of extra funding going direct to head teachers to allow them to take action to improve attainment in our schools. And of course, all of this is happening while we see Labour councillors, such as those in North Lanarkshire, vote to get rid of classroom assistants in our schools. The problem for Kezia Dugdale is I've got figures in front of me here as well. Data published on the 27th of June shows that councils are planning to spend £144 million more, that's 3% in cash, 1.3% in real terms on education this year than they planned to spend last year. And of course that includes the planned spend on the Pupil Equity Fund of £120 million that I spoke about. So those, Presiding Officer, are the facts. This government is taking the tough action to reform our education system, to get more powers into the hands of head teachers and teachers, and crucially, of course, to get more resources into the hands of head teachers and teachers. And I note that Kezia Dugdale doesn't want to address the fact that her own council colleagues in parts of Scotland are taking decisions that run directly counter to that. So perhaps Labour should get its own house in order before it comes here to criticise the Scottish Government. The figures I read out are not my figures. They come from councils. They are the council predicted figures, and I read them out as they are. But you know, there's a bigger problem. There's a bigger problem for Kezia Dugdale in this exchange, is there not? Because everything she said ignores one important fact. I'm going to point to the council I've already mentioned twice today, North Lanarkshire Council. North Lanarkshire Council, in case people listening to this don't know, is run by Labour, supported by the Tories. North Lanarkshire runs schools. North Lanarkshire, in its recent budget, decided two things of relevance to this discussion. Firstly, it decided not to use the powers that had been given to increase the council tax. It decided to freeze the council tax. And secondly, it decided to cut the number of classroom assistants. In other words, to sack the very support staff that Kezia Dugdale is talking about. So this government will continue to invest in education, reform education, deliver the changes that our education system needs, and we will do that in spite of Labour councils across the country, not because of them.